Interpreted Relationships in the Great Lakes region by Rebecca, Amy, and Corey. The three species that we are going to focus on are the blue violet, the white oak, and the white pine. All these plants have interpreted relationships with other living and non-living factors in their ecosystems. The interactions help out our plants do things like grow, develop, and reproduce.
Firstly, we need to understand what interdependent relationships are. Interdependent relationships are when organisms and populations of organisms are dependent on their environmental interactions, both with living and non-living factors. Let's look at these relationships with the three different plants. The first plant that we are going to look at is the blue violet. This plant is a perennial herbaceous plant. This means that this plant can live for many years. It is also a part of the Violacea family, which includes over 1,000 different species of plants. The blue violet is easy to pick out because it has such colorful blooms and heart-shaped leaves. Now you may be wondering, where are these plants found? The blue violet is one of the most common species found in the Great Lakes region. Within Michigan, the blue violet can be found in 71 counties, including 3 islands. In this image, these counties and islands are marked with a dark blue dot. It is a lot of counties, almost the whole state. The environment in which these plants live are dry to moist, sometimes swampy, deciduous forests and thickets. Within their ecosystem, the blue violet has many different interactions and relationships with both abiotic and biotic factors. Abiotic factors are the ones that are not living. These are things like water, sunlight, air, and many other things. The blue violet has an interdependent relationship with both sunlight and water. These two factors are the major reactants in the process of photosynthesis. These plants take in sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide, which then produces oxygen and sugars. The plant releases the oxygen and stores the sugars. The sugars that are produced are used for energy and nutrients within the plant. The blue violet needs these to grow and develop. The blue violet also has interdependent relationships with biotic factors. Biotic factors are the ones that are living. Examples of these are plants and animals. One relationship that the blue violet has with biotic factors is a mutualistic relationship. A mutualistic relationship is one where two organisms of different species work together, each benefiting from the relationship. The blue violet has a mutualistic relationship with two different organisms, the mining bee and the ant. The mining bee aids the blue violet in reproduction and fertilization. This benefits the blue violet. However, the mining bee also benefits from this interaction. The mining bee collects pollen when it eats the nectar within the plant. Overall, the bee gets nutrients and food from the blue violet, and the mining bee aids the blue violet in reproduction. The blue violet also has a mutualistic relationship with ants. The ants eat the nutritious coating off the blue violet seeds. However, they do not eat the whole seed. Instead, once they are done eating the coating, they bury the seed. This gives the seed a new home to begin its growth cycle. Both the blue violet and the ant are benefiting from this interaction. The ant gets nutrients and food, and the blue violet gets help with reproduction. Another relationship that the blue violet has with biotic factors is herbivory. Herbivory is a form of predation in which the prey organism is the plant. In simpler terms, in this relationship, the blue violet is eaten by different organisms or predators. Some of the organisms that eat the blue violet are game birds such as wild turkey, rodents, herbivores, and butterfly larvae or caterpillars. All of these organisms eat the blue violet for food and nutrients. Overall, these independent relationships have a great impact on the blue violet. The relationships I stated above help the blue violet grow, develop, and reproduce. Additionally, the blue violet can be a food source for other organisms by helping these organisms grow and develop. These interactions and relationships are not just seen within the blue violet. They are also seen within the white oak and white pine, which we will talk about in the following slides.
What is the white oak? The white oak is a blooming angiosperm. The white oak is the official tree of Illinois and may reach heights of 100 feet a width of 3 feet, and a lifespan of 400 years. The tree has a name-giving grayish white bark and greenish brown acorns. Where can you find the white oak? Just as Rebecca said, it is in the Great Lakes region. With the blue dots, they are located in the environment conditions under which the white oak develops are very diverse. The growing area's northern boundary experience mean annual temperatures of 45 degrees, while East Texas and North Florida have mean annual temperatures of over 70 degrees. Interpreted relationships with ionic factors. Sunlight is one and correct soil. For sunlight, the white oak has to go through photosynthesis in order to produce energy and nutrients to survive. For correct soil, the deep, wet, well-drained, slightly acid to neutral soil is preferred by the white oak. Although it may adapt to other soil textures, alkaline, shallow, or degraded urban soils are intolerable. However, it can endure some moderate drought and spartatic moist soil. Interpreted relationships with bionic factors. The white oak plays a huge role in providing help and support to many animals, humans, and etc. With the wildlife, the white oak tree acorns are a favorite food source for many animals, including birds, deers, bears, rabbits, and rodents. The acorn have less tannin than those of red oaks, making them less bitter. Deers and birds are known to consume all portions of the white oak tree, including the leaf buds.
So next is the white pine. The white pine is an older species which can grow to enormous heights. Due to its high quality of wood, the pine was sought after in large quantities when the lumber industry was high. While the white pine is commonly found in Michigan, the next slide will tell us more about where the species can be found. So where is it found? The white pine tree is in several locations of the world. These locations all have similar environments in which the tree can thrive in. They thrive in wooded areas and forests mainly. Pictured is a map of where specifically in Michigan where the pine can be found. Interdependent relationships with the abiotic factors in the white pine include photosynthesis. This is an energy converting process which is unique to the white pine. The tree is able to complete photosynthesis during the wintertime, unlike many other plants, specifically trees in the area. The bundles of needles that fill the tree help with the ability to absorb the limited amount of winter sunlight and withstand the cold temperatures. To complete photosynthesis within the winter time, it takes the cells a longer time. The next factor is water. Water usage by the white pine varies depending on the time of the year and the environmental type. The needles of the tree have an advantage when it comes to water storage due to their unique structure. While the benefit of water itself is great for the tree, it benefits the biotic factors due to consumption of the needles. This will be further discussed within the biotic factor slide. So looking at the biotic factors, we need to first see what is included with that. First is shelter. Birds use the white pine as a place of shelter. Several species inhabit the white pine tree. These include the mourning dove, chickadees, blue jays, and bald eagles. Some use it for a perch. Others use it for a nesting place to raise their young. Typically, a bird will nest for around 6 to 8 weeks. This makes the white pine ideal since it does not shed its leaves like a typical tree. The next factor is safety. While safety is a close relationship to shelter, not all animals use the tree in the same way. The black bear typically does not use the white pine as shelter unless absolutely necessary. Typically, it is bear cubs that find themselves climbing the tree and finding safety from predators. They can spend hours in a tree until they can return to the ground safely. Food is another important factor. Many animals use several different structures of the white pine as a source of food. Since the tree thrives year-round, this provides many species of a source of nutrients. Commonly, the needles and seedlings are ate by small animals, such as the hare, gopher, and squirrel. These small animals benefit from the nutrients, but the species of the white pine also benefits. The benefit is contributed to the fact that these small animals typically travel distances from their original source. Once the animal has digested the food and once the nutrients have been expelled, the seedlings have spread to new locations and have a chance to grow. This contributes to the spreading of the species. Other parts of the white pine used by animals for nutrients include bark and pine cones. These animals include deer, which commonly consume the bark of the white pine tree, and when the resources are sparse, they also eat the pine cones for nutrients. Squirrels are another animal that will commonly consume the pine cones of the white pine tree. Overall, the white pine tree provides many nutritional benefits to the environment. Looking at all these species, the blue violet, white oak, and white pine all bring valuable contributions to the environment. The relationships discussed within this presentation are examples of how interdependent relations that are biotic and abiotic occur within the environment. Thank you.